a healing toward my mother. Why that winter Sunday morning, and not another as ordinary long before? I don't know. But there I sat at the dining room table, savoring my usual bowl of raisin bran, when I glanced a face smiling at me from the far living room wall. Nice face, I thought, turning again to my cereal. Yet my attention seemed drawn again and again to the smiling face on the far living room wall. By then, I was interested. A likeness which had hung on the walls of my residence for years, today, right now, commanded my full attention. At first, observing what was there only for the eye to see, I acknowledged in the face a degree of physical beauty which I could not recall noticing on any prior occasion. I began to feel a bit uncomfortable as I noticed various features of my own, which, to boot, were there to an unerring degree of resemblance. To this, a mental dialogue ensued. Fool, don't be ridiculous. That's your mother. People do look like their mothers, you know. To which the response was, yeah, but I'm not one of them. I'm the spitting image of my father. I have his hair, his coloring, his mouth, his nose. I look just like Daddy. All the while, I was still studying the face. Soon, the dialogue faded away to wherever beliefs, no matter how dear, fade when they can no longer be upheld. I found myself admitting for the first time that my eyes are my mother's, unmistakably. So are my cheeks, my chin. Well, if this picture and I were to have at it, I felt compelled to take it a step further. I found myself perceiving the personality of my mother as her qualities came out of this portrait. So out they came, one at a time, each lingering long enough to be absorbed anew into my awareness. I first saw and then felt her tenderness, her patience, her understanding. Yes, I even saw her love, knew that she always had, still did love me. But I hesitated to absorb what I saw next coming out of the portrait of my mother. I found myself engaging various rationale that should support my right to do so. After all, had she not done this and that, and the other? And still, I don't understand after all these years. Had I not, well, in my own way, always loved her nevertheless. But you see, my entire essence was caught up into this, and whatever this was, it was far greater than my mother or myself and any differences that remained between us. I had prayed for a healing toward my mother, and I had been healed. I had thought so anyway. But as my rationalization gave way, I became filled, all of me, every fiber, with the overwhelming grace of forgiveness. And silently, I wept from the joy of release as I realized in that moment I loved my mother in a way that I had never known. It was and happily remained a love with no strings attached. It overlooked what I had judged as faults and shortcomings, and it focused rather on her value to me, the pluses, and the inspiration my mother had been to me all along. On that cold winter morning, I embraced and began walking in the warmth of God's love with my mother.